Question 1. An Agile team recently completed a sprint but failed to deliver a potentially shippable increment. Which of the following is the most appropriate action for the team to take regarding the undone work? A. Add all undone work to the next sprint's backlog without further review. B. Reevaluate the undone work with the product owner to prioritize it for future sprints. C. Assign the undone work to individual team members to complete outside of the sprint. D. Discard the undone work entirely, as it was not completed within the sprint. Answer: B. Reevaluate the undone work with the product owner to prioritize it for future sprints. When a team fails to complete work within a sprint, it indicates that the work was not done according to the team's definition of done, meaning it cannot be part of a potentially shippable increment. The most appropriate Agile approach is to transparently bring the undone work back to the product owner for reevaluation and prioritization. This ensures that only valuable, high-priority items are considered for future sprints, reflecting the Agile principle of adapting to change and delivering value. Simply adding it to the next sprint or discarding it fails to leverage the product owner's expertise in value management. By reprioritizing, the team ensures the most important work is always tackled next. Question 2. A large organization is transitioning to Agile. Several project managers are struggling with the shift from traditional command and control to a servant leadership style. Which of the following approaches best supports their development in this new role? A. Provide extensive training on Agile tools and software, then let them manage. B. Encourage them to delegate all decision-making authority to team members immediately. C. Mentor them on facilitating self-organizing teams and removing impediments. D. Have them continue their traditional project management responsibilities in an Agile context. Answer: C. Mentor them on facilitating self-organizing teams and removing impediments. In Agile, the role of a project manager or Agile leader shifts significantly from command and control to servant leadership. This means their focus moves to enabling the team, which includes mentoring them on how to facilitate self-organizing teams and actively removing impediments that hinder progress. By focusing on facilitation and impediment removal, leaders empower their teams to make decisions and manage their own work, fostering autonomy and increasing overall team effectiveness. This hands-on, supportive approach helps traditional managers understand and embody the Agile mindset, rather than just learning new tools or abruptly delegating everything. Question 3. During an Agile project, a key stakeholder continuously requests changes that impact the current sprint backlog. What is the most Agile way to manage these requests? A. Reject all changes until the current sprint is complete to maintain stability. B. Incorporate the changes immediately, adjusting the sprint goal as needed. C. Direct the stakeholder to the product owner to discuss and prioritize the new requests for a future sprint. D. Form a separate change control board to review and approve all stakeholder requests. Answer: C. Direct the stakeholder to the product owner to discuss and prioritize the new requests for a future sprint. In an Agile environment, the product owner is the single point of contact for managing the product backlog and prioritizing work, including new requests. While Agile embraces change, incorporating new requests directly into an active sprint can destabilize the team's focus and risk the sprint goal. The most Agile approach is to direct the stakeholder to the product owner, who will then evaluate the new requests against existing priorities and potentially add them to the product backlog for consideration in a future sprint. This process maintains sprint stability while ensuring stakeholder input is considered and value is maximized. Question 4. An Agile team is finding that their velocity varies significantly from sprint to sprint, making it difficult to forecast future work accurately. Which factor is most likely contributing to this inconsistency? A. The team is consistently delivering a potentially shippable increment at the end of each sprint. B. Sprint lengths are fixed and consistently adhere to the agreed-upon duration. C. The definition of done is frequently changing or is not consistently applied. D. The product owner is actively involved in backlog refinement and prioritization. Answer: C. The definition of done is frequently changing or is not consistently applied. An inconsistent definition of done directly impacts the completeness of work, making it challenging to measure true progress and predict future velocity. If what constitutes done changes or is not consistently applied, the amount of effort required to complete a story can fluctuate wildly, leading to erratic velocity measurements. A clear, stable, and consistently applied definition of done ensures that all work included in velocity calculations meets a minimum standard, providing a more reliable basis for forecasting and improving predictability. Therefore, maintaining a stable and understood definition of done is crucial for consistent velocity. Question 5. An Agile team has identified a major impediment that is outside their control and requires intervention from senior management. What should the team do first? A. Escalate the issue directly to the CEO for immediate resolution. B. Document the impediment and continue working on other tasks. C. Inform their Scrum Master or Agile coach to help facilitate its removal. D. Hold a lengthy team meeting to brainstorm every possible solution internally. Answer: C. Inform their Scrum Master or Agile coach to help facilitate its removal. When an Agile team encounters an impediment that is beyond their immediate control, the first and most appropriate action is to inform their Scrum Master or Agile coach. The Scrum Master, in particular, serves as a servant leader whose primary role includes removing impediments, coaching the team, and shielding them from external distractions. Escalating to the CEO immediately is usually premature, and simply documenting the issue without action doesn't resolve it. The Scrum Master has the organizational knowledge and influence to navigate such issues, ensuring the team can remain focused on delivering value. Question 6. What is the primary purpose of a release plan in an Agile project? A. To provide a detailed, fixed timeline for all project deliverables from start to finish. B. To establish a high-level roadmap and forecast for delivering product increments over several sprints. C. To finalize the scope and budget for the entire project before any development begins. D. To document all technical specifications required for the final product release. Answer: B. To establish a high-level roadmap and forecast for delivering product increments over several sprints. A release plan in an Agile project is a high-level roadmap that outlines how and when product increments will be delivered to stakeholders over multiple sprints, often spanning several months. It helps forecast which features are expected in upcoming releases and provides a flexible timeline for achieving business value. Unlike traditional fixed plans, Agile release plans are adaptive and subject to change based on feedback and new information, but they still provide crucial transparency about the team's long-term direction. Think of it as a guide, not a rigid contract, that helps manage stakeholder expectations. Question 7. A product owner is struggling to prioritize the product backlog, as many stakeholders have conflicting demands and each believes their features are the most critical. Which Agile technique would best help the product owner in this situation? A. Implement a strict first in, first out, FIFO, policy for all backlog items. B. Engage stakeholders in a weighted shortest job first, WSJF, exercise. C. Assign priority based solely on the technical complexity of each feature. D. Allow the development team to decide the priority of the backlog items. Answer: B. Engage stakeholders in a weighted shortest job first, WSJF, exercise. When faced with conflicting stakeholder demands, weighted shortest job first, WSJF, is a powerful prioritization technique that helps product owners make objective decisions based on economic value. WSJF calculates a score by dividing the cost of delay, business value, time criticality, risk reduction/opportunity enablement, by the job size. This method encourages stakeholders to think about the economic impact of their requests, making trade-offs more transparent and data-driven. It helps align diverse perspectives by focusing on delivering the most value with the least delay, rather than relying on subjective opinions or technical complexity alone. Question 8. An Agile team is conducting a sprint review. What is the primary objective of this meeting? A. To inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. B. To inspect how the team performed during the sprint and identify improvements. C. To assign tasks for the next sprint and estimate their effort. D. To resolve technical impediments identified during the sprint. Answer: A. To inspect the increment and adapt the product backlog if needed. The sprint review is a formal opportunity for the development team to present the done increment to stakeholders and for everyone to collaborate on what to do next. Its primary objective is to inspect the completed increment and gather feedback from stakeholders. Based on this feedback and market conditions, the product owner and team can then adapt the product backlog, reprioritizing existing items or adding new ones to maximize future value. This collaborative inspection and adaptation are crucial for ensuring the product remains aligned with customer needs and business goals. Question 9. An agile team has been consistently overcommitting during sprint planning, leading to incomplete work at the end of sprints. What is the most effective approach to address this issue? A. Extend the sprint length to allow more time for completion. B. Reduce the frequency of stakeholder feedback sessions. C. Encourage the team to use historical velocity as a guide for planning. D. Assign a project manager to strictly control the team's commitments. Answer: C. Encourage the team to use historical velocity as a guide for planning. Consistently overcommitting suggests the team is taking on more work than they can realistically complete within a sprint. The most effective agile approach is to use historical velocity as a realistic measure of the team's capacity. By looking at their average velocity from previous sprints, the team can make more informed and sustainable commitments during sprint planning, preventing them from overextending themselves. This empirical approach fosters predictability and helps the team refine their planning accuracy over time. Question 10. A new agile team is struggling with self-organization and accountability. Team members are waiting for tasks to be assigned and are hesitant to pick up work. Which agile practice would best foster greater self-organization? A. Implement a more detailed project plan with task assignments from the Scrum Master. B. Encourage the use of a Kanban board with clear, pull signals for work. C. Increase the length of daily stand-ups to discuss tasks in more detail. D. Introduce individual performance reviews based on task completion rates. Answer: B. Encourage the use of a Kanban board with clear, pull signals for work. A Kanban board with clear, pull signals inherently promotes self-organization and accountability by visualizing the workflow and empowering team members to choose the next piece of work when they have capacity. Instead of having tasks pushed onto them, team members actively pull work from the to-do column into in progress, taking ownership and responsibility. This system limits work in progress, WIP, focuses the team, and naturally encourages collaboration and proactive task selection, which are vital for a self-organizing team. Question 11. What is the primary purpose of a team charter in an agile context? A. To formally document the legal agreements between the project team and external vendors. B. To outline the project's high-level scope, budget, and timeline for executive approval. C. To define the team's working agreements, values, and how they will collaborate and make decisions. D. To detail the technical architecture and design specifications for the product. Answer: C. To define the team's working agreements, values, and how they will collaborate and make decisions. A team charter is a foundational document created by the team itself that serves to establish clear expectations and guidelines for how they will operate. It defines their shared values, working agreements, communication norms, decision-making processes, and conflict resolution strategies. This collaborative agreement empowers the team to be self-organizing and accountable, fostering a healthy and productive working environment from the outset. It essentially sets the stage for how the team will function together to achieve its goals. Question 12. During a sprint, a team member identifies a significant technical risk that could jeopardize the current sprint goal. What should be the team's immediate course of action? A. Ignore the risk and hope it resolves itself, focusing on completing current tasks. B. Immediately stop all work and escalate the issue to the product owner for a decision. C. Collaborate with the team to analyze the risk, propose solutions, and discuss with the product owner. D. Reassign the team member to a different task to avoid the risk entirely. Answer: C. Collaborate with the team to analyze the risk, propose solutions, and discuss with the product owner. When a significant technical risk is identified, the Agile team should first leverage its collective intelligence. The team should collaborate to understand the risk, assess its potential impact on the sprint goal, and brainstorm possible solutions or mitigation strategies. After this initial analysis, they should then discuss their findings and proposed solutions with the product owner, who can help decide the best course of action considering product value and priorities. This proactive, collaborative approach ensures risks are addressed swiftly and effectively within the Agile framework. Question 13. A product owner is preparing for an upcoming sprint planning meeting. Which of the following activities should the product owner prioritize before the meeting? A. Completing all user story writing and acceptance criteria for every item in the product backlog. B. Collaborating with the development team to ensure backlog items are refined and understood. C. Developing a detailed project schedule for the entire project lifecycle. D. Presenting a finalized solution design to the team for approval. Answer: B. Collaborating with the development team to ensure backlog items are refined and understood. Prior to sprint planning, the product owner's crucial role is to ensure the product backlog is refined and ready for the team to select items. This involves collaborating with the development team to discuss, clarify, and estimate backlog items, ensuring they are well understood and meet the definition of ready. This ongoing backlog refinement makes sprint planning efficient and effective, as the team can quickly understand the work and make informed commitments. It's about preparation and clarity, not necessarily having every single item fully detailed for the entire project. Question 14. An Agile team decides to conduct a spike during a sprint. What is the primary purpose of a spike? A. To deliver a small, shippable increment of new functionality. B. To explore a technical or functional unknown, typically through research or experimentation. C. To fix a critical bug that emerged in the production environment. D. To create detailed documentation for a complex system component. Answer: B. To explore a technical or functional unknown, typically through research or experimentation. A spike is a short, time-boxed investigation or exploration activity undertaken by an Agile team to reduce uncertainty. Its primary purpose is to research, design, or prototype a solution to a technical or functional unknown, rather than to deliver shippable code. For instance, a team might use a spike to evaluate a new technology, understand a complex algorithm, or determine the feasibility of an integration. The outcome of a spike is knowledge, which helps the team make better informed decisions for future development and estimation. Question 15. A new stakeholder joins an Agile project midway through its execution and expresses confusion about the current progress and future direction. Which artifact would be most effective in quickly bringing this stakeholder up to speed? A. The detailed project Gantt chart. B. The product roadmap and current product backlog. C. The comprehensive technical design document. D. The historical meeting minutes from all previous sprint reviews. Answer: B. The product roadmap and current product backlog. The product roadmap provides a high-level visual representation of the product's vision, strategic goals, and planned feature evolution over time, offering a clear sense of direction. The current product backlog complements this by showing the prioritized list of features, enhancements, and bug fixes for upcoming sprints, giving insight into immediate priorities. Together, These artifacts provide a clear and concise overview of the project's current status and future plans, making them ideal for onboarding a new stakeholder quickly without overwhelming them with unnecessary details. Question 16. During a daily scrum, a team member mentions being blocked by an external dependency. What is the most appropriate next step for the team? A. The team collectively ignores the block, assuming the Scrum Master will handle it. B. The team discusses the dependency after the daily scrum, involving relevant individuals. C. The Scrum Master immediately leaves the daily scrum to resolve the dependency alone. D. The team replans the entire sprint to avoid the dependency. Answer: B. The team discusses the dependency after the daily scrum, involving relevant individuals. The daily scrum is a time-boxed event for team synchronization and planning for the next 24 hours, not for detailed problem solving. When an impediment or dependency is raised, the appropriate action is for the team to acknowledge it and then discuss it immediately after the daily scrum, involving only the necessary individuals. This ensures the daily scrum remains brief and focused, while also promptly addressing the blockage to keep the sprint on track. The Scrum Master can then facilitate the resolution of this dependency. Question 17. An Agile team is struggling with frequent context switching and an inability to complete work due to too many items being started concurrently. Which principle or practice would directly address this issue? A. Increasing the team's overall velocity target. B. Implementing stricter time tracking for individual tasks. C. Limiting work in progress, WIP. D. Expanding the sprint duration to allow for more tasks. Answer: C. Limiting work in progress, WIP. Limiting work in progress, WIP, is a core Kanban principle and a highly effective practice for improving flow and reducing context switching in any Agile team. By consciously restricting the number of tasks or stories that can be actively worked on at any given time, the team is forced to focus on completing existing work before starting new items. This reduces multitasking, helps identify bottlenecks, and ultimately leads to faster delivery and better quality. It's about finishing what started, rather than just starting more. Question 18. What is the primary benefit of continuous integration in an Agile project? A. It ensures that all code is manually reviewed by a quality assurance team before deployment. B. It regularly merges code changes into a shared repository, detecting integration issues early. C. It automates the process of deploying the entire application to production environments nightly. D. It reduces the need for comprehensive automated testing by relying on manual checks. Answer: B. It regularly merges code changes into a shared repository, detecting integration issues early. Continuous integration, CI, is a development practice where developers frequently merge their code changes into a central shared repository, typically multiple times a day. The primary benefit is the early detection of integration errors, as an automated build and test process runs on each merge. This practice drastically reduces the risk and complexity of integrating code at the end of a sprint or project, leading to a more stable code base and faster delivery of value. It's about making integration a regular, low-risk event, rather than a painful, infrequent one. Question 19. A team member consistently struggles to understand the value of sprint retrospectives, viewing them as unproductive meetings. How can the Agile coach best address this perception? A. Cancel retrospectives for a few sprints to demonstrate their importance by absence. B. Mandate attendance and strict adherence to a predefined agenda. C. Coach the team on how to make retrospectives actionable and focus on measurable improvements. D. Share a detailed report of individual performance metrics with the team. Answer: C. Coach the team on how to make retrospectives actionable and focus on measurable improvements. To change a team member's perception of retrospectives, it's essential to demonstrate their tangible value. An Agile coach should focus on coaching the team to make retrospectives actionable by identifying specific, measurable improvements and ensuring follow-through. By connecting retrospective outcomes directly to positive changes in team process, efficiency, or quality, team members will begin to see the meeting as a powerful tool for continuous improvement, rather than just a discussion forum. The goal is to make the retrospective a driving force for positive change. Question 20. An Agile team is working on a complex feature that requires significant technical research and multiple experiments to determine the best approach. Which adaptive planning technique is most suitable for managing this uncertainty? A. Fixed price contract with detailed scope documentation. B. Rolling wave planning, focusing on near-term details and high-level future. C. Big design upfront, BDUF, to resolve all unknowns before coding. D. Sequential phase gate approval process for each experiment. Answer: B. Rolling wave planning, focusing on near-term details and high-level future. Rolling wave planning is an adaptive planning technique where detailed planning is performed for the near future, while work further out is planned at a higher level. For complex features with significant uncertainty, this approach allows the team to gather information and learn as they go, detailing the plan incrementally. It avoids committing to a rigid long-term plan when too many unknowns exist, allowing flexibility to adjust based on new discoveries and experimental results. This flexibility is crucial for navigating complexity in an Agile environment. Question 21. Which of the following is an example of a good user story? A. As a system, I want to process transactions quickly. B. As a user, I want to log into the application. C. As a customer, I want to pay for my purchases online so that I can conveniently complete my order from home. D. As a developer, I want to refactor the database for better performance. Answer: C. As a customer, I want to pay for my purchases online so that I can conveniently complete my order from home. A good user story follows the as a role, I want capability, so that benefit format, often referred to as the ConExtra format. The correct answer clearly identifies the user role, customer, the desired capability, pay for purchases online, and most importantly, the tangible business value or benefit, conveniently complete my order from home. This structure ensures the story is focused on delivering value from an end-user perspective, making it understandable, testable, and estimable. Other options lack either a clear benefit, a human user, or are too technical for a user story. Question 22. A team member is consistently struggling to complete their tasks within the sprint, despite estimating them accurately. Other team members are often idle while waiting for this individual. What is the most likely underlying issue? A. The team has too many shared resources, causing contention. B. The team has insufficient work in progress, WIP limits. C. The team is experiencing a bottleneck due to specialized skills or a dependency. D. The product owner is not prioritizing tasks effectively. Answer: C. The team is experiencing a bottleneck due to specialized skills or a dependency. When one team member consistently falls behind while others are idle, it strongly indicates a bottleneck. This usually arises when a specific task requires a highly specialized skill that only one person possesses, or there's an external dependency blocking that person's progress. The entire team's flow is constrained by this single point, causing others to wait. Identifying and addressing such bottlenecks, perhaps through cross-training or process adjustments, is crucial for improving team efficiency and flow. Question 23. In an Agile project, what is the primary purpose of conducting a big visible chart? A. To hide project progress from external stakeholders to avoid premature judgment. B. To provide a detailed financial breakdown of project expenses for auditors. C. To visually display project status, progress, and impediments in a transparent way. D. To document individual team member performance for annual reviews. Answer: C. To visually display project status, progress, and impediments in a transparent way. Big visible charts, such as task boards, burn-down charts, or burn-up charts, are central to Agile transparency. Their primary purpose is to visually communicate the project's current status, progress towards goals, and any impediments in a highly visible and accessible manner to the entire team and relevant stakeholders. This transparency fosters shared understanding, facilitates quick decision-making, and encourages self-organization by making information readily available to everyone. It's about creating an information radiator that keeps everyone informed at a glance. Question 24. What is the main benefit of inspect and adapt in Agile methodologies? A. It ensures adherence to the original project plan without deviation. B. It allows teams to continuously learn and adjust their processes and products based on feedback. C. It establishes a strict change control process for all project modifications. D. It provides detailed documentation for auditing purposes at project closure. Answer: B. It allows teams to continuously learn and adjust their processes and products based on feedback. Inspect and adapt is a core tenet of Agile, emphasizing continuous learning and improvement. It involves regularly checking the progress of the product and the effectiveness of the process, then making necessary adjustments based on what is observed and learned. This iterative feedback loop allows teams to quickly respond to changes in requirements, market conditions, or internal processes, ensuring the team is always optimizing for value delivery. This constant adjustment is what makes Agile methodologies highly responsive and resilient. Question 25. An Agile team is performing sprint planning. The product owner presents a new, high-priority user story, but the development team indicates they lack the specific technical skills to implement it. What is the most appropriate Agile approach? A. The product owner should remove the story, as the team cannot do it. B. The team should commit to the story and figure it out during the sprint, potentially impacting other work. C. The team should discuss potential solutions, identify training needs or external help, and collaborate with the product owner on options. D. The product owner should reassign the story to another team with the required skills. Answer: C. The team should discuss potential solutions, identify training needs or external help, and collaborate with the product owner on options. When faced with a skill gap, an Agile team should first engage in a collaborative discussion. They should analyze the gap, explore options like internal training, pair programming, seeking external expertise, or even a spike to gain knowledge. This discussion then informs a conversation with the product owner to determine the best path forward, which might involve reprioritizing, deferring, or adjusting the story based on the feasibility and cost of acquiring the necessary skills. This proactive problem-solving and collaboration embodies Agile's adaptive nature, rather than simply discarding the work or making an unmanageable commitment. Question 26. Which of the following best describes the concept of technical debt in an Agile context? A. The accumulated interest on loans taken out to fund a software project. B. The cost of licensing new software tools for the development team. C. The implied cost of additional rework caused by choosing an easy but limited solution now instead of a better, more robust approach. D. The financial overhead associated with maintaining legacy systems. Answer: C. The implied cost of additional rework caused by choosing an easy but limited solution now instead of a better, more robust approach. Technical debt refers to the long-term cost incurred when development teams choose a quick and easy solution, like a workaround or a non-optimal design, in the short term, rather than implementing the best possible architectural or design approach. This debt accumulates over time, making future development harder, slower, and more expensive due to added complexity, defects, or reduced maintainability. Agile teams actively manage technical debt, often dedicating a portion of each sprint to paying it down to ensure long-term sustainability and agility. Question 27. An Agile team uses story points for estimation. Which statement best reflects the nature of story points? A. Story points represent the exact number of hours required to complete a user story. B. Story points are a relative measure of effort, complexity, and uncertainty for a user story. C. Story points are primarily used to compare the performance of individual team members. D. Story points are a contractual agreement for the fixed delivery date of a feature. Answer: B. Story points are a relative measure of effort, complexity, and uncertainty for a user story. Story points are a unit of measure used by Agile teams to estimate the overall effort required to implement a user story, feature, or other backlog item. Unlike hourly estimates, story points are a relative measure, taking into account not just the sheer amount of work, but also the complexity, risk, and uncertainty associated with a task. Teams typically assign story points by comparing items against a baseline story, rather than attempting to calculate precise time. This relative sizing approach is more robust for estimating in uncertain Agile environments. Question 28. What is the primary role of a Scrum Master in a development team? A. To manage the project schedule, budget, and resources. B. To represent the customer and define product features. C. To facilitate Agile events, coach the team, and remove impediments. D. To perform all the hands-on coding and testing for the team. Answer: C. To facilitate Agile events, coach the team, and remove impediments. The Scrum Master serves as a servant leader to the Scrum team, acting as a facilitator, coach, and impediment remover. Their primary role is to ensure the team understands and adheres to Scrum principles and practices, and to help them continuously improve their processes. They facilitate Scrum events, coach the team on self-organization and cross-functionality, and actively work to remove any obstacles that hinder the team's progress. This role is about enablement and support, not direct management or product definition. Question 29. A stakeholder expresses concern that an Agile project lacks sufficient upfront documentation and detailed plans, making them uncomfortable with the level of control. How should an Agile practitioner address this concern? A. Reassure the stakeholder that Agile doesn't require any documentation. B. Explain that Agile prioritizes working software over comprehensive documentation, while still providing necessary artifacts like a product roadmap and backlog. C. Agree to create a full, detailed project plan and comprehensive documentation before continuing development. D. Suggest that the stakeholder trust the process without needing to see progress. Answer: B. Explain that Agile prioritizes working software over comprehensive documentation, while still providing necessary artifacts like a product roadmap and backlog. Agile does not eliminate documentation, but it prioritizes working software over comprehensive documentation, meaning it focuses on sufficient documentation rather than exhaustive, upfront detailing. To address stakeholder concerns, an Agile practitioner should explain this principle, highlighting that Agile provides alternative forms of valuable documentation such as the product roadmap, product backlog, and potentially living documentation like automated test suites. These artifacts offer transparency and control through continuous delivery and feedback, ensuring necessary information is available without excessive upfront planning that could stifle adaptation. Question 30. During a daily stand-up, a team member consistently provides extensive details about every task they are working on, making the meeting run over its time box. What is the most appropriate action for the Scrum Master? A. Allow the team member to continue, as all information is valuable. B. Schedule a separate, longer meeting specifically for that team member to provide updates. C. Gently remind the team member and the team about the time box and the purpose of the daily scrum. D. Assign the team member fewer tasks to reduce the amount of detail they need to report. Answer: C. Gently remind the team member and the team about the time box and the purpose of the daily scrum. The daily scrum is time-boxed to 15 minutes, and its purpose is to inspect progress toward the sprint goal and adapt the sprint backlog for the next 24 hours, not to provide detailed status reports or solve problems. A Scrum Master, acting as a facilitator and coach, should gently remind the team member and the entire team about these guidelines to keep the meeting focused and efficient. If detailed discussions are needed, they should be taken offline after the stand-up with only the relevant individuals. Question 31. An Agile team has delivered several features, but user adoption is low. Upon investigation, it's found that the features, while working correctly, don't fully meet the user's needs. Which Agile principle was likely underemphasized? A. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. B. Working software over comprehensive documentation. C. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. D. Responding to change over following a plan. Answer: C. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Low user adoption, despite working features, strongly suggests a lack of deep understanding of user needs, which is a direct consequence of insufficient customer collaboration. The Agile principle of customer collaboration over contract negotiation emphasizes the importance of continuous, close interaction with customers and end users throughout the project. This ensures that the team builds the right product that truly delivers value and meets evolving needs, rather than just building what was initially specified or negotiated in a contract. Question 32. In the context of Agile metrics, what does cycle time measure? A. The total time spent by the team in all meetings during a sprint. B. The time taken for an item to move from in progress to done in the workflow. C. The duration of a single sprint, from planning to review. D. The frequency at which a team performs continuous integration. Answer: B. The time taken for an item to move from in progress to done in the workflow. Cycle time is a key metric in Agile, particularly in Kanban, that measures the duration it takes for a single work item, like a user story or task, to flow through the team's workflow, typically from the moment it is started, in progress, until it is completed, done. It provides insight into the efficiency of the team's process and their ability to deliver work quickly. A shorter cycle time generally indicates a more efficient and responsive delivery process. Question 33. An Agile team is experiencing frequent arguments and unresolved conflicts, impacting team morale and productivity. Which of the following techniques would be most beneficial for the Scrum Master to introduce? A. A new set of stricter rules for communication and behavior. B. Team-building activities focused on personal relationships outside of work. C. Facilitating a session to establish clear working agreements and a conflict resolution process. D. Assigning a designated mediator for all future team discussions. Answer: C. Facilitating a session to establish clear working agreements and a conflict resolution process. When a team struggles with conflicts, the most effective approach for a Scrum Master is to help the team define their own clear working agreements and a structured conflict resolution process. This empowers the team to proactively address disagreements by providing agreed-upon guidelines for communication, decision-making, and how to handle disputes respectfully. By establishing these ground rules collaboratively, the team takes ownership of their interactions, fostering a more productive and harmonious environment. Question 34. What is the primary purpose of a definition of ready in Agile development? A. To ensure that all team members are available and ready to start the sprint. B. To establish criteria for when a user story or backlog item is sufficiently clear and prepared to be pulled into a sprint. C. To define the specific technical requirements that must be met before a product can be released. D. To determine if the project budget has enough funds to proceed with the next phase. Answer: B. To establish criteria for when a user story or backlog item is sufficiently clear and prepared to be pulled into a sprint. The definition of ready, DOOR, is a set of criteria agreed upon by the development team and product owner that indicates when a product backlog item is sufficiently well understood, clear, and small enough to be taken into a sprint. It acts as a checklist to ensure stories are ready for implementation, meaning they have enough detail, are estimated, and dependencies are understood. This helps prevent delays and rework during the sprint, ensuring the team can focus on delivering value without constant clarification. Question 35. A project is deemed highly innovative with many unknowns and rapidly evolving market demands. Which contract type would be most suitable for an agile development approach in this scenario? A. Fixed price contract with detailed scope and firm deadlines. B. Time and materials, T&M, contract with an estimated range and collaborative agreement. C. Cost plus fixed fee contract with strict change control procedures. D. Unit price contract where each deliverable has a predetermined cost. Answer: B. Time and materials, T&M, contract with an estimated range and collaborative agreement. For highly innovative projects with many unknowns and rapidly evolving requirements, a time and materials, T&M, contract is generally the most suitable agile contract type. This contract allows for flexibility in scope and duration, as the client pays for the actual time and resources spent. Pairing it with an estimated range and a collaborative agreement fosters a partnership where both parties share risk and adapt to changes, which aligns perfectly with agile principles of embracing change and continuous delivery of value. Fixed-price contracts are ill-suited for such dynamic environments due to their rigidity.